Flosstube, and welcome to my channel, Home Sweet Home Handmade. I'm Natalie and this is episode 70, and this is my channel where I talk to you about cross stitch. We've got Simon here. I'm hoping he'll turn round in a minute. He's just eating some treats at the moment, and we've got Percy down there. He is. He's got really big. So yeah, I'm back for episode 70, and it's Sunday the 23rd of February 2025, and I'm here today to talk to you about what I've been stitching on since I last saw you. So I've got a finish, and I've also got some whips. I've got some stitchy kindness as well. So do you want some more? Do you want to come up, Percy? Percy's going to come up as well. They are eating machines. There you go, Percy. So back to the stitching, that's what you hear. If you didn't watch my last episode from a couple of weeks ago, I was with my sister Emily, so I will put a link to it down in the description box, and also I'll put a clickable link at the end of this video. So I'm just going to pause here. I'm back. I've managed to get Percy to jump up. See if I can. There he is. Percy! He's got a really big boy. Bribed with treats. So yeah, so as I was saying, it's Sunday the 23rd of February, and I'm here to show you the progress on my whips. So first of all, I want to show you my finish. It's going to jump down now. So this, I'm really chuffed to finish this. It's been in my whip pile for way too long, and it is Mr Darcy in Love by Miss Prim, and I will put a link to her Etsy shop, and I've got a picture of where I was before, so I'll pop it in here, and there we go, a finish. So I used threads from Stash, which I know his jacket is Tennessee red clay. The black is DMC 310. My favourite white, which is B5200 DMC. His wing is a Crescent Colourworks, as was, goldenrod. And then the words were the cottage garden thread, which I still didn't look up what that was called, and it's much darker. Here comes Simon again. So I have to put these threads away because, as you can see, they would get them. I love these threads. They're fast becoming my most favourite threads. So that's Mr Darcy in Love finished. So I am going to make this into a cushion. I've seen some fabric on Etsy. Very distracted, sorry today. That I'm going to put on the back. But I'm really chuffed that I managed to finish that in the year when Jane Austen is, it's 250 years since she was born, so that's great. Obviously, the EB is Elizabeth Bennet. So I know, Rachel, you were starting this month, Rachel, made by Rachel, who I have many, many of her bags. So how are you getting on with Mr Darcy, Rachel? So that was my Whips Be Gone call for February, so I managed to get it done. So Whips Be Gone, if you're new here, is my variation on Jessie Marie Does Stuff's Whip Go. So there's me, Donna Ray, Flannel Jammies Farm, Amy Loves Toads, and my sister Stitching from Gnome Cottage on Instagram. We do Whips Be Gone, so we choose 12 projects, one for each month, and then our hubbies pick the number. So that's my finish. And as I've got it here, I'm going to just move on to Stitchy Kindness. Now, Sally, Stitchy Sally, on Flosstube and Instagram, and I will put a link to Sally's YouTube channel. She's lovely, and definitely go and check her out. Very sadly, her husband's auntie passed away, and she was clearing the house, and she managed to get back some of the cross stitches that she had done for her over the years. And she put a post up on Instagram to see if anybody wanted to give them a home. So I saw this one and I messaged Sally, and she very kindly posted it to me. So there it is. And I think this is a All Our Yesteryears, is that right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, Sally. And I just think it's the sweetest thing. And it does have her, I believe, her initials, and it's got the year 2000. So thank you, Sally. Yes, I am going to give it a very good home. And I said to her, I sent her a message on Instagram and thanked her when I received it. And I said to her that I think that the little girl should have a name, and that I was going to come up with a name. And I'm actually going to call her Sally. So, and Sally also sent this very lovely card along with it as well. So I'm going to keep the card with the cross stitch so I know where it's come from. So yeah, thank you. And also I was a winner, I can't believe it, in a giveaway that Dina from Half Stitch Cross Stitch, and if you're not watching Dina, you should be. She's absolutely lovely, and I will put her link to her Flosstube channel down below as well. And she did a giveaway recently for 9 years on Flosstube, and she did, I can't remember how many charts she gave away, quite a few, but I went in for this one and I won it, and I can't believe it. It's 3 charts, and they're 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿, and it's called Holly and Hearts. It's a mystery sampler club, and it's a Christmas sampler, and it came out in 3 parts, so you do need to buy all 3 parts. And I just love that. So when I contacted Dina to let her know my address, and also when it had arrived, I said that I am going to start this in July, as a Christmas in July. I think it's fairly old. I haven't looked to see if you can still get this, but I'm sure you probably can. There. So I feel very lucky to have won that. So it says, I will honour Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all year through. I think that's a quote from the Christmas Carol from Scrooge. So I feel very lucky to have got these beautiful things through the post. And then, as this is next in the pile, I'll show this as well. Lara from 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐵𝐿, on her last Flosstube episode, she pulled this kit out and said that she was going to start it for her 50th birthday at the end of March. And I knew that I'd got this in my stash. I picked it up sometime last year, and it's the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 kit Swallows. So I'll have to check when Laura's birthday is. I know it's the end of March, but so I'll mention it again. So I'm going to stitch this to celebrate Laura's 50th and her birthday, and if you want to pick it up and join Laura, then do. It's the most beautiful chart. You don't really realise until you look up close that, like, her clothes and her hair, they're all feathers. And just like the shading on like her cheeks, I think it's just beautiful. Trying to see. So it's DMC, I think it's 14 count. Does it say? Yes, it's 14 count. So Laura will be pleased. So just white Ada, but it's got all of those colours. So that will be a start at the end of next month. Beautiful. And I will probably do my top left, which will be there, the sky. But I'll try and come down to the bird's head. And then I'll have all this loveliness to stitch. What else have I got to show you? I managed to get 3 charts in the charity shop for Emily. There was a vintage Santa one because she loves vintage Santas, and there was 2 Just Nans, and then I managed to pick up this cross-stitch Christmas from Better Homes and Gardens. It's quite an early one, 1995, and I got this for £1.50. So I've just put a couple of post-it notes in here. There's some beautiful things in here of potential things that I'd like to stitch. The first one is under the section Stockings for Santa, and it's Scandinavian stocking. And I really like that. I like the cuff at the top and the geese as well. And I like it on that brown sort of tall fabric as well. So that's one potential stocking. And then the other one is very unique, and it's the Jester stocking, which is this one. This here is all metallic Kreinik, but I have got some petite treasure braid that I picked up at Liberty Hill when I was there last year. I just really like that. So yeah, I'm always on the hunt for vintage cross-stitch books or pans. This charity shop is just a bookshop, and it's in aid of a local hospice. So, and they have a really good craft section. So I was like, when I saw that, I was like, yes, I'm having that. And then, as I say, I've got the 2 Just Nan charts for Emily and a vintage Santa one as well. So let me go on to whips now. So the first one, I forgot to show it last time, but I'd only done like 1 snowflake, so you didn't miss much. So this is Bent Creek Snow. So I am stitching this on a piece of, what is it called? Oh, Fibre on a Whim 16 count old gold Ada. And if you're new here, I'm an Ada stitcher. And I'm stitching this with all the called for DMC. And I'll show you where I got up to. It's not a very big piece. So I managed to get the snowman in. So what I've got left to do is basically the alphabet, which shouldn't take me too long because letters don't take very long. This fabric is just amazing. So I've got a full, is it half a yard? It was when I was in the fabric club for Patchwork Rabbit for the Fibre on a Whim. So this is a fat quarter I've got. So it's quite a huge piece. So, yeah. So I should be able to finish that. I mean, I am drawn to doing spring stitching at the moment because we're moving into spring. But if I manage to get this one finished, I can have it up for winter, next winter. Also in here, I've put this chart because I think I would like to stitch it on this fabric, and that's the Artsy Housewife Coffee and Eggs. I think it will go quite nice on that one, on that colour. And I've got it all kitted up ready. So I think that's been quite a favourite with everybody. So yeah, so it's my Bent Creek Snow, which I will try and get a finish for next time. The next one I couldn't put down. I decided to pick it up, sorry about the zip noise, because it is a favourite and I just couldn't put it down. So it's a Jardin Privé Lady Halloween. I've got a before photo, so I'll pop it in here. And so I've been working on this side, and I decided that I wanted to move down to the cauldron, the books that I'd like to think were spell books, and get the stall in. Then I managed to put the little mouse on one of her boots. So I did quite a lot of this one. Stitching this on a Zweigart Vintage Country Cream, and it's with a cottage garden threads called Storm. So I'm going to put this behind it because I haven't got one of those fancy balls. So you can see I started about here and I managed to get all of this in. The cobwebs, I don't think they're how they were charted, but they look okay. And as I say, the books, I'd like to think they're spell books. And I'm loving the variegation on this Cottage Garden Thread Storm. I'll show you it up. So that's where I am. So I've reached the bottom, and I have gone through one skein of the thread, and I had this left, so I knew that I would have to order another one. So I did. I ordered one from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery. So that is how they come, and I just love it. And then to use it, you probably know, but I'll show you. You just unwind it, so you pull the end and unwind. So it comes out like that, and you just press there, and these are all pre-cut lengths, 50 centimetre lengths pre-cut, 10 metres, and then you just get grab one, and you just hold there, and you just pull it like that, and it's just amazing. And I love the fact that it's just contained. It's a bit like, I really like Madeira threads as well that come in those plastic packages. So I couldn't just order one thread, could I, from Rachel? I am having a low spend year, so I did just put these in my cart, and they were reduced in her sale. So I got two more. I got pumpkin seed, which is beautiful, and and I'll use that on a lot of autumn stitching, and I got Katie's blush, which is a beautiful pink and then pale pink and green for any potential spring stitching. And I'll put a link to Rachel's shop, Talking Dog Stitchery, in the description box below. So that's where I am. So I think I am going to come across and put her next boot or shoe in, and the frog, and then this Quaker with the cat. And it does give you a, because this one is done in sort of a black and two greys, and then it does give you a orange version as well. But I said in a previous Flosstube that I'm going to do her hair in a different colour. So I think what I'll do is I'll put a poll up on my Instagram, because I'm thinking either purple or have got I can't remember the colour. It's a Weeks Dye Works, I think, and it's like a lime green, to let people choose which colour. So I'm really pleased on the progress of that. That's quite a lot of stitching, the cauldron. Yeah, so I'll work along the bottom and get the boot, the frog and the Quaker in the corner. Love it. I love that design there, and it really shows up the mottling in the thread really well. I don't see many people stitching this one, so if you have stitched it before, just tell me in the comments. And tell me which version you stitched. Did you do the black and grey, or did you do the orange, or did you do something completely different like I'm doing? Right, where to go next? This one. So this is in my Made by Rachel bag, and it's got a jingle bell. I keep it inside because the boys love jingling, and it's got this amazing fabric. And also my hubby got me this for Christmas it's got a little notions pouch. So this is my heartstring samplery bells, Christmas bells sampler, and I'm taking this to the stitching group that I set up last September, so 𝐦𝐨𝐤𝐤𝐿's Stitchers, and we meet the last Saturday of every month at Horncastle Library. So we met yesterday and it was lovely. There was 14 of us, and the 2 hours just seemed to zip by. Excuse me. So yes, I'm taking this with me to every stitching meetup to see if I can get a finish before Christmas. So I do need to pull it out in between. So I started my usual left, I've gone down a bit, and I am now gone on to page 2 to get to this corner. And I am stitching this on a piece of sparklies 18 count Ada called Slightly Nutty. And as I've said before, I love their Ada. It's not really soft like a fibre on a whim, and it's not really like those stiff crunchy Adas. So that's where I am at the moment. And I am picking threads, which I'll show you in a moment. And I'm going off the picture for the different colours of the flowers. And I'm really enjoying this. I'm using one strand. So the threads that I'm using, which I'm keeping in my little pouch, are the Hands-On Design Sulky 12 weight cotton petites, and they are specifically for the cranberry Christmas chart of theirs, which I have got, and they come in these spools. So I'm using that green and the dark green, which has a lovely shine to them, and I'm using this red, this one, there we go, and I'm using this silk as well, which I can never say. So they're my reds. And then for the bells, I'm using this other silk, which I hope I don't run out of. And as I said to you before, quite controversially, I don't really like stitching with the silk. Normally I am a 2 strands with a loop start, so I'm just using 1 strand because with it being 18 count. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I'm loving the colours as well, and it's not going to be as big as what I think it is, so I might have a bit of this to do some smalls on as well. Yeah, it was a lovely morning yesterday, and it's great to see what everybody's working on. Emily takes her modern folk embroidery, and then somebody else was stitching Emma was stitching a ink circles, and she was using an amazing variegated sulky thread that was like peacock colours. It was lovely. Nicola, she was stitching on a gift stitch of all gnomes of the year. I'm just trying to think what else anybody else was stitching. My brain's gone, but a lot of different things, a lot of different designs. somebody before has brought a chatelaine, somebody before has been stitching on Christmas cards. So yeah, it's a very relaxed group. It's 10:30 till 12:30, and there's no like rules on you must stitch this, must do that. It's you bring whatever you like to stitch on. We do have a private Facebook group, which I'm admin and Emily is as well. So if you're in the area and you'd love to come along, our next group will be the end of March, the last Saturday in March at Horncastle Library from 10:30 onwards. Right, I'm going to put that up. So I've got a new start. And this, I knew I had this in my stash and it was calling to me, and I just decided just to start it. And I'm keeping it in this amazing Made by Rachel bag, and it's one of her sewing pouches. I think it's what she calls the medium one, but it is quite large. And the fabrics are just beautiful. Look at that one. She always chooses the most beautiful, whimsical fabrics. So I always put, my threads at the bottom, I always put a link to Rachel's Etsy shop. And the fabric on the back is, and you wouldn't know it until you looked at it, is actually a Winnie the Pooh one. And I've never seen this Winnie the Pooh fabric. It's lovely. And there's Rachel's tag as well. So in here, and also she does just she does cream fabric inside, which is brilliant, because when you're delving in your bag trying to look, you want a light colour so you can see. So this in here is a Riola's kit. And I was thinking about the kits that I've got in stash, and with it being a low spend year, I want to use what I've got. And this one was calling to me. And it is called Forest Calendar. Yes, it's another monthly stitch. I mean, oh, hair, wild. I think I've got my coffee one over here, which I'll show you in a minute. I'm not going to be able to keep up with this, but I just wanted to start it. And it's 14 count flaxen 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐞. It's like a rustico, and it's got the wool acrylic threads. So it is Forest Calendar, and it is so cute. Show you where I got up to. I just pulled this out and did this in one night. So I started on the owl, and I started with the fairy lights, and I managed to get those done. So you can see with the acrylic threads, it makes the stitches very puffy, which I quite like. So it's going to be beautiful when it's done, and I do really like this rustico. So I'd like to pull this out again, and I'd like to get the owl and the teapot done. So also in here, these aren't new starts, these were just charts that I saw in my stash, and I just thought, oh, they just caught my eye. So they're in this bag. I might not start them, but they're just there in case I think I would like to. So this one I got as a PDF, and it's Spring in England by Magnolia Nest Designs. And I believe she's done other ones as well, Welsh one. Isn't that beautiful? And I like the fact that it's sort of like lots of little motifs, so lots of little finishes. So that might be a start if I'm after some spring stitching. And then also in here, this is a real old one. I was trying to find the date when I pulled it out of my stash, and I don't believe it's got the date on it. But I picked this up in Betty's Stitch Kit, which is back in the West Midlands where my husband's family are, and they've got this amazing shop. So I went in and I got this. I think I got it last year. I think I got it the year before, and she gave me a really good discount because it was an old chart. And this is called File This from Calico Crossroads, and I just love that. I don't think it would take too much to do as well. Oh, it's okay. I thought hubby was coming in, but we've got the washing outside and it was blowing. So, but I'd like to stitch that and put it near my desk. And I actually quite like it on the white as well. So yes, Emily, I did have a new start. The forest calendar, and got the fairy lights in. Now I'm just going to stop here and find my other calendar piece. I think it's just here. Won't be a moment. I'm back. Yes, it was just here. So this one is, if I can find the front cover. So this is my Design Works, what's it called, coffee break. And I'm aiming to do one square a month. Now I'm falling woefully behind, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up. But I did pull it out last night, so I am on the coffee square. And my husband really likes this one, so he wants me to get it done so we can get it framed and put up in our kitchen. There's a lot of colour changes, so I'm using all the kit fabric and the kit flosses as well, threads. So that is where I am. So when I picked it up last night, I'd got the coffee and the steam and that bit done. So I filled in sort of the rest of this, and I did a bit more of the cream here in the border. But I had the naughty frog come and visit. So I had quite a bit done down here, and then I thought, it looks a bit odd. And then I realised I can't count, so I had to frog that out. We were watching A Touch of Frost, which was great. So we've watched them all loads of times, so but we love a bit of crime drama. So yeah, so I need to pick this back up, pick up the pace and get this filled in and get the saucer done. What I could do, thinking about it, is I could, between now and when I see you next, this could be my 30-minute a day, at least 30-minute a day stitch, just so that I can get caught up. And it's amazing how the back stitch just brings it to life, and I really quite like back stitch. So yeah, so I think it's going to be stunning when it's done, and it looks so much more, well, it looks better in person than the picture, and isn't that always the way? So that's my Design Works coffee break, and I haven't seen too many people stitch this one either. So I'm going to keep on with this one and not let it just fester in the whip pile. Now, the next one is something that I was going to start, but I couldn't start, and I'll explain in a minute. So it's another Jardin Privé, and I'm not even going to attempt the French. I looked up, I translated it, and it's ABC of embroidery, and it's this long piece here, and I just love that. So I decided that I wanted to try and find some 𝐦𝐤𝐤 banding, and I did find some, and I worked out that I needed the banding to be 5 inches across, and I managed to get some from Floral Shell Needleworks. I'll link them below. Needlecrafts, and it's beautiful, the right length. But when I started this, I realised that I'd done an so it is 5 inches, but it's 5 inches including the borders. So the 𝐦𝐤𝐤 is not even, I think it's just slightly over 3. So that isn't going to work. And I've scoured the internet trying to find an 𝐦𝐤𝐤 banding of either 16 or 18 count that is going to be 5 inches. Yeah. So I couldn't start it on this. This won't go to waste. It might be suitable for one of the I can't remember if it's Little House Needleworks or Country House Crafts or whatever they're called, and the ABCs. I might be able to use it for that. Then I was having a look in Stash, and I thought that this might work. And this is a Fibre on a Whim 16 count morganite, and it's like this pale pink. But I realised that 16, that it wasn't long enough. So this is wide enough, but it's not long enough. So, and I also found in Stash this little hanger that I might use. So yeah, so I couldn't start this. So I do need to go through my 𝐦𝐤𝐤 stash. I don't think I've got a long enough piece. So it's not very wide, but it needs to be, for 16 count, it needs to be 5 inches, which I said, by 37.1 inches. So I wouldn't mind just stitching it on the white or a ivory 𝐦𝐤𝐤, but I think that's brilliant. So this will be a new start at some point in the spring or early summer, but I'm just a bit, if you know where I could get a 5 inch width 𝐦𝐤𝐤 banding in either a 16 or 18 count, just pop it in the comments below, because I really love this edging. So yeah, couldn't start that one. So I think that's all I've got to show you today. I'm sorry for the stopping and starting, and I'm glad you got to see Simon and little bit of Percy. Tomorrow they will be 18 months old, so yeah, they're growing up really fast. And if you've watched to the end, thank you so much. I realise I've had quite a few new subscribers just lately, and thank you so much. And I love all the kind comments that you put, and I read them all and I respond to all of them as well, because I just really like that interaction between us both. And very excitingly, my channel was monetized on Valentine's Day, which I just saw that it was, and it was a great shock. I started this channel in lockdown, so it will be 5 years in April, and I'm going to do a big giveaway in April to mark 5 years. I can't believe it's been 5 years. This is Flosstube 70, but I've actually done 81 videos, so, and it's great to look back and see what you stitched and what you gift stitched as well. So thank you so much if you're a regular viewer or you're fairly new here. It's great. And an extra special thank you to the friends that I've met along the way. It's a great community to be a part of. And just a little request, because I have had my hours cut of work, so if you could watch the adverts, you just put them on mute and just watch, just leave them playing, do something else, because every little helps, doesn't it? I'd really appreciate it. So until I see you next, stay happy, healthy and happy stitching, everyone. Bye.